Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to the second round of the 2016 GPVWC World GT Championship here at virtual Interlagos for 60 minutes of GT-based fun and shenanigans. Apologies for the belated start of the broadcast tonight, unfortunately. We had a couple of problems with, I'll be quite honest, there hasn't been anyone to do the broadcast. So I've had to conjure up a bit of a ragtag team, if you will. I'm Josh Anderson. I'll be doing cameras and lead commentary tonight. So I'm taking on the cameras role in addition to my usual role as lead commentator. But I am joined tonight. I do have someone alongside us, and it is Mr. David Jundt.
Good evening, guys. Pleasure to be here.
Yep, David with me tonight to keep an eye on the track and keep a general eye on the goings-on of this 60-minute race. We have passed qualifying, and we're in the final minute of warm-up now, and it was none other than Risto Kapit who took pole position for Street Fighter Racing Systems. I should add the sole Street Fighter on the grid today, because his teammate is not here. So this could hurt their championship hopes a bit. In addition to that, we have a couple of other. I'll run through the starting grid when we actually go to race. But a couple of notable well dones in the qualifying front. Thomas Hinds P5 for Cosmo Autosport. Now that is a fantastic qualifying position for him considering last race. So he'll be hoping to make great advantage to this. A couple of others as well who did quite well in qualifying. I'll give you running through all of them. But Matthew Allington P15 for YTF1, new to the series. Taking the slot of FA Racing who have pulled out the season. Also pulling out the season of Tafer Motorsport. They've been their slot's been assumed by Epic Racing, who brings some SRT Vipers to the series. So some V10s going on there then. Very good to see the Viper on the field for the first time in GPVWC competition. Or at least in this current state of affairs with the mod. But we just ended warm-up, everyone wishing each other good luck. Race director Chris Williamson is going to set us off on the wonderful road to 60 minutes of race-related goodness very, very soon. So, yeah, it's looking to be a good race, isn't it, David?
Yes, I hope so. I mean, I'm already very happy to see that we have two Vipers on the grid. This will probably mark the first time since we switched to R-Factor 2 and of course the United Racing Designs mod, that we actually see some Vipers in the race, and I'm very glad to hear some V10 on the grid for now.
Yeah, it is a completely different car, the Viper. It's got a lot more torque than the other cars. It might prove a bit problematic, but it does mean that it's got the acceleration advantage if you can get all that power and torque down onto the tarmac below the wheels. So we're just resetting the grid now. I think someone else has joined the server, which is why we've done that, and we should be going over the race soon for, race director Chris Williamson, just wishing everyone good luck, telling them to be careful, and we should already be getting ourselves onto this racetrack and ready to start the 60 minutes that will be the World GT event here at Interlagos, and it's looking to be a very good one.
Personally, I think, Josh, the Viper is probably a fan favorite, with me as well. It lacks in some departments against the other cars, I'd say. Not by very much, but I think that's why you can see that the Viper wasn't picked. And Porsche as well. We have no Porsche on the grid, and it's mostly, I think, Ferrari against Corvette.
Yep, it is very much a Ferrari versus Corvette dual sort of manufacturers battle we got going on here, because no manufacturers championship in the World GT Series. Although, if there was one, it would probably be Ferrari or Chevrolet that won it at this rate, because there are so many of them on the grid. And speaking of the grid, we're going to go to the grid in but a moment. Apologies for the fact it's not going to be an overlay, unfortunately, because again, I did have to do cameras on very short notice for this. But I will try my very best to bring you what information I can. So, we do go live to the grid now, and it's going to be Risto Kapit on pole position here for Street Fighter Racing Systems. Again, apologies for the slightly different overlay or the lack of overlay rather than from what we're used to, but I have to make do and mend, unfortunately. So Risto Kapit leads for Street Fighter Racing Systems. He's followed by Nico Barkley in second place for Scuderia Basilea in the other Ferrari. And then it's Thomas Jacobs third place for TSA Racing. And then Thomas Hinds is actually fourth in all this for Cosmos. So that's a fantastic result for him. He starts on the second row of the grid in P4. P5 is Jordan Weeks there in the other Scuderia Basileia car, so a good qualifying result for the Swiss outfit. Then it's Tom Parker in P6 for Racing Team Schroten in the first of the Corvettes, well, the second of the Corvettes actually, behind the TSA car. Then it's Tobias Olsen in P7 for RPM Racing. He's followed by Matthew Churgwin in 8th for the other TSA car. Then it's Diego Carantha in P9 for Stax Racing in the Aston Martin Vantage. Then it's Marius Nicolai rounding out the 5th row for the Lifers. I think that's a Madcape car, I can't remember, but I think, yeah, it is a Madcape Racing Team. Ferrari in P10. Then it's Bartavas in the other Cosmo in 11th. So very good result for the team there. And 12th is Andrew Waring, the Canadian, in the other Stax car. And it's Tommy Oyala, 13th for Ice Cold Racing. Brett Merkov, 14th for TTF Racing. Very good result from Brett there to qualify there. Then it's Matthew Ellington making his debut in the series this year at least for YTF1 in that, well, it is an interim livery. It looks very similar to the standard Corvettes, but nil problems there. Sherwin van der Sloot, 16th for Simtech Racing. And then it's 17th for Christoph Lichtenstein, making his debut in World GT again this year. And making Epic's debut in the Viper. Welcome to the series, both of you. Standerson Arl, P18 in the other Simtech car. Then it's Rory Collins, P19 for Racing Team Shorten. Mark Fuller, 20th for ST Racing. Florian Engel in the other Epic in 21st. Rudolf May, 22nd in the other TTF. Then it's Gerrit de Vries, 23rd in the Armoroli Racing Team car. Then it's Boyer Milan, 24th in the other ST. And Rob Mason rounds out the field for RPM Racing, the other RPM, in 25th place.
Of notable information, I think I've heard that Pedro Arias probably should have taken over the second car of Street Fighter, but he isn't here if I saw that right, and that Luis Felipe Capamachon isn't racing tonight, so it's just one car, just Risto, I guess.
Yep, indeed. This is going to be a good race, though. No second Street Fighter, unfortunately, but Risto Capit will be looking to get as good a result as he can, either which way. So all the cars lined up on the grid here, just waiting for things to start here in Brazil for the round of the championship. We have 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and the second time asking this year, we're out for a win very early, in fact, and that's Risto Capit. He gets a very good start off the line there, but look at Nico Barkley, who's stormed past him already. Peruvian goes into first place, does not hesitate to get that lead going already. Thomas Jacobs in chase behind them. Thomas Hinds retains 4th. Look at this from Olsen taking a charge on Jordan Weeks here, down into P5. This is a very good start from the Swede indeed. Starting to make a train behind them from the rest of the cars already. No incidents I can see off the start line, but everyone seems to have got a clean enough start. Olsen challenging Weeks for 5th place now. Trying to go around the outside of the Englishman. Not going to work, unfortunately. Olsen forced to yield at the moment. He's trying down the inside here. This is fantastic stuff from Olsen. Definitely determined to keep it going so far, but he's been forced to make a bit of a yielding manoeuvre again, but he's not giving up, is he, Tobias Olsen on Jordan Weeks here in the early goals. Thomas Hinds again has done a fantastic job to retain 4th place on the charge on Thomas Jacobs and the TSA Corvette. I can't say anything that's happening further down the field, unfortunately, because no overlay, of course. But Risto Capit has definitely held on. Well, he's lost first place to Nico Barkley. He's chasing down the Peruvian, though, with some speed. And Weeks has gone down a position, and Olsen's gone up one. Olsen into 5th place after all this. So Tobias Olsen for RPM Racing makes up that place. And then behind, Matthew Churgwin having a go at Jordan Weeks as well. Got that big train behind him with both the Stax cars in 9th and 10th as well. Waring has overhauled Carantha to go into P9. But at the moment, going through onto the second lap, it is Nico Barkley leads, Risto Capit leads, Thomas Jacobs leads, Hinds leads Olsen, and that's your top 5.
Yep, everyone's clean on lap 1, no retirements, everyone going strong.
Yep, indeed, it's all going well at the moment. Let's have a look further down the field then, see if anything is happening in the lower points. Yep, Christoph Lichtenstein, P15 chasing down Matthew Allington at the moment. So P14 versus P15, this is the battle for points between the German and the Englishman. And behind them, they've got Sherwin van der Sloot and Bert Merkhoff waiting and hoping. Lichtenstein down the inside here, trying to make it work, but that on the defence, Allington gets a very good defensive line there. Makes it work, and Lichtenstein's going to have to wait. That Viper not going to get its chance quite yet on the Corvettes. But Bartavos has dropped down to 13th in all this. Tommy Oyala's gotten ahead of him, and the Belgian is going to want to have to make something happen regarding this move here. Again, apologies for the fact we don't have an overlay. I have had to do cameras all of a sudden, and I didn't have time to install it, unfortunately, because we didn't have a cameraman. So I am pretty much doing this on my own, apart from David, who's going to give us tidbits of information and help where we can, of course. Again, massive thanks to David for stepping in at such late notice. But Allington has now lost quite a bit of time to DeVos here. Hopefully going to make it up. And he's kind of in an expanding sandwich, if you will. DeVos pulling away from Allington and Allington pulling away from Liechtenstein. So the bread is getting further away from the filling here, with the filling being the Corvette and the breads being the Viper and the BMW. Further up the field, though, Andrew Waring is in pursuit of Tom Parker and Matthew Chergwin, who are in a close proximity battle for 6th at the moment. So Waring's gone up another position past, I think, Jordan Weeks he's gone through. So Parker under serious threat from the Canadian now, though. On board we go with Andrew Waring as he tries to make something work here. He's going to look down the inside of Tom Parker into this turn here. Going to wait for the chance to arise as... No, it's not gonna happen yet, but gonna have to wait for that to happen. But Waring gonna keep up the broadcasted shenanigans and attempts of manoeuvring on Tom Parker here. Parker, of course, very, very experienced Super League veteran as well. Knows his stuff, and probably from the looks of this, knows his stuff in a GT car as well, does Tom. He's really putting fire on Matthew Chergwin at the moment in the TSA, under pressure for P6.
Contact Nikolai and Weeks are off.
Oh, Nikolai Weeks off. Very good shout from David Jundt there. They've gone right down the back of the order. Nikolai off there. I'm going to see if I can get a replay of this. Marius Nikolai here. Let's see what happened. He goes, oh, he loses it. And then, oh, yep, just looks to tap Jordan Weeks. I don't think much could have been done there, but he has gone all the way down into P19 now, or 20. So he is quite far down the order. Back to this Chergwin Parker battle at the moment, because it looks to me like that's... the closest thing we're going to see at the moment. Well, one of them at least. Tom Parker trying to make some distance down on Chergwin here. As we go on board with Chergwin, just from the rear wing camera there. There's not too much in it between the two, but he's quite something, doing quite a good job here. Further up the field, though, indeed, Thomas Hinz is P4. He's having a sterling race at the moment, Thomas. I mean, he didn't have he got points, I think, at the previous race of Fuji, but to be up there in P4 at the moment is absolutely phenomenal. He's doing an absolutely fantastic job, it must be said. He's trying to chase down Thomas Jacobs at the moment in P3, who is holding that final podium position for TSA Racing. Jacobs, of course, almost won the title last year, save maybe for a couple of races that could have been better, but he was absolutely up there with it. And look at this, Hinz is on the back of him already. He's tagging onto the back of him already. This could be a fight for P3 if we're looking here. Could be about to see something very interesting on board. We go with the Aussie as he makes that attempt to catch up to the Englishman. Let's just listen to this BMW for a second here. The only BMW on the field, actually, that car. Well, one of the two only BMWs. The only Team Cosmo to enter the BMW Z4 this season. So, a bit of individuality to the field they do bring. As Tobias Olsen in one of the many Ferraris is chasing him down at the moment. Looking to make a move into the first turn, but I don't think he's going to have the distance on the Australian that he wants. He gets close, he gets very close, as you'll see. But not enough, unfortunately. He's making the legendary for God's sake, Josh. He's making the legendary inroads, but he's not made enough of them. As Matthew Allington under serious threat from Boyer Milan for P12 here. He's gone up to P12, but Milan round the outside of the Englishman here, trying to make it work. As we'll go on board with Allington briefly there, and Milan down the outside. I think he's lost the position now, but he's going, stays on the inside. Oh, gets a bit close there, but luckily no harm done. But Boyer Milan does indeed take the place into P12.
We have a pit already. It's Garrett de Vries who's missing the front of his car.
Yep, Garrett de Vries must have had some sort of incident there. He's popped in at the pits. He pits already. Of course, no mandatory pit stops in World GT. You can zero stop if you want. We did see that, I think, last race. But if you don't want to stop, you don't have to. I think it is more beneficial sometimes not to stop, but time will tell if that's the case here at Interlagos. Meanwhile, further up the field, Tom Parker has lost some ground to Matthew Shergun at the moment. But Andrew Waring is, well, he's got his teammate behind him, Diego Cranta. A double stack attack here. Well, double stacks attack, should I say, on the RTS car could be about to occur. So both stacks cars probably going to work together here to try and overhaul the Corvette in front of them. Tommy Oyala and all this will be waiting and seeing if there's going to be any mistakes, but he's got Bart Vos to worry about in P11 in the other BMW. Could be interesting to see if the Belgian can make something happen from all this. He did unfortunately have a very bad race one, first race of the season, but it could be that he does well here, and I'd hope he does, because, well, he is a very talented driver, Bart, former Super Cup champion, so knows his stuff in a race car.
We just had action at turn 1. Jordan Weeks passed Brett Metcalf for P15, and Sherwin van der Sloot went straight on, but didn't touch anything and rejoined in 18th.
Yeah, Jordan Weeks goes back into the points after his little excursion earlier. The other Vazilia car to Nico Barkley is very much currently in the points. So P15 for Weeks, he'll be very pleased with that at the moment. Look at this. Carantha and Waring absolutely going at it with each other here. Both stacks cars giving each other a bit of a fight here. So it's going to be a stacked attack and a stacked double stackception. Very much the order of the day here at Interlagos, as the Canadian takes on the Peruvian. I do believe Diego Carantha is Peruvian. If
yes,
I'm not, he is. I'm not massively mistaken there. Thanks to helping us out with my nationalities. I do get them wrong sometimes, but today I haven't. As Waring now is going to have a crack at his own teammate if he can get close enough. Further up the field, though, Thomas Hintz has got his first serious competition in the race in Tobias Olsen. The Swede has caught right back up to the Aussie, and this could be a fight here if the Swede can make inroads on Hintz, but it's going to be a case of can he do it? We'll have to wait and see if he can. We are indeed on lap 7 of however many you can fit into 60 minutes as he makes a bit of a dive there on the Aussie, but it doesn't work, unfortunately.
Carantha has half spun at turn 1 and lost P8 to his teammate.
Oh, fair point. Yeah, Carantha now has dropped right behind Andrew Waring and all this, so not good for him. He drops back now, and, well, that's going to end that stacks battle. But yeah, we are 7 or so laps in out of, I think it's about 1 minute 30 for a lap here, isn't it? I'm not sure, but we should therefore be about 10 minutes into this race. There or thereabouts. I don't know if David can check that in more detail for us, but I think we're about 10 minutes in.
Yes, we have a lap time of about 1:30, I can see.
Yeah, about 10 minutes into this race, then there should be, therefore, about 40 laps in this race before we get to the last one. Just for your own personal information, but as it stands, coming on to the 8th lap of the race, Risto Kamen for the lead. I almost completely forgot that Kamen down the inside into turn 1, and he makes it. Stick as the Estonian. Risto Kamen takes the race lead from Nico Barkley there. What a move from the Estonian, but Barkley's not going to take that line down. He's going to be right back on the back of him. Well, it's quite some good racing here. I think I need a drink. And look at that.
It's actually quite notable that I think Risto and Nico are the only guys that have lapped in 1:30 so far.
Yep, the only ones to get within the 1:30s, actual 1 minute 30 times, as Hins still under some pressure from Wilson here, but he has pulled out a bit of a gap. But Barkley, speaking of gaps, is pulling out a nice little gap here and closing said gap to Risto Cabot. This could be a battle for the lead once more. I'm just trying to get this drink open a moment, it's not working. And you need drinks in times of these. It's something to relax yourself with when you're watching all the fantastic racing. There we go. Open. Finally. So Captain under threat from Barkley. If Barkley can make inroads here, about a second between the two of them. So unless he gets a very good draft here, he's not going to make anything happen. I don't think this lap is the Peruvian, but Barkley can certainly try.
We have actually lost Gerrit De Vries, who's the first retirement of the race, sadly.
Yes, De Vries retires, unfortunately. Not something I'm used to saying, but we are talking about Gerrit here, not Sven. Gerrit De Vries' first retirement of the race, unfortunately. Very sad to hear that. A shame, really, because, well, he had that incident and then couldn't quite make that back up again. Cameron is starting to make a distance now to Barkley. Hens under 5 from Olsenstown. I think we're going to keep an eye on this because it could be that Tobias could make something happen very, very soon. But we don't know for certain because you never do in racing, do you? Olsen then going to give it a good go. Going to give it the full beans towards the Aussie. He keeps making distance in that corner, but he's not making any distance anywhere else. So maybe not going to keep as beady an eye on that as we were, but the Ross, however, has started to catch Tommy Oyala, and looking to make a move here is the Belgian. De Vos then will look for an opening. Whether he'll get one is beyond me, but you'd hope he would, to be quite honest, because, well, we like to see close racing. So De Vos then, oh, he has closed up the Oyala, you can see that. See how close he is already, almost on the rear bumper of the Corvette ahead of him. So, definitely wants this. But can he get it? That's going to be the question that's going to be on everyone's lips, or at least De Vos's lips, as he tries to widen an opportunity over there as Oyala leaves the door open, but then promptly shuts it later, does the Finn. So, Oyala not making the Belgians' life easy. But Tommy O may be under fire from De Vos very soon. If he is very lucky, well, or unlucky, if De Vos is lucky, he'll get a chance. He's got to get a good draft here. That BMW will be hopefully better in the straights than the Corvette, although the Corvette you'd think would be better in the straights. But De Vos into 6th gear, 160 miles an hour down the front straight, not making any inroads. You'll have to wait until the corners because he seems to have the advantage there as he gets very close to Oyala, puts the pressure on. Just letting him know he's there. He's not giving up. Let's Oyala know he is within striking distance, hoping to put a bit of pressure on him.
Oh, we have a very close battle between Marius Nicolai and Christoph Lichtenstein. Oh no, he spun off!
Oh, Lichtenstein off. Where's this? I've not quite got it. Yep, Lichtenstein P17 and without a front right wheel in all this. So let's see what happened. Lichtenstein was in the points and then wasn't in the points. Oh, contact between the two, which then pulls them into this corner through here. And then Lichtenstein, oh, contact again, but loses it on his own. It would think, I'm not sure, but Lichtenstein now without the front right, this has to be game over for the German unless he can somehow nurse it back to the pits. No, he's gone straight into the wall there, so I think that's going to be game over for the German, unfortunately. And for Epic Racing, his first car, unfortunately, I don't know where, I'm not sure where Florian Engel in this, but I don't think he's in the points. But Matthew Allington is in a points position and he's under threat from Jordan Weeks, who's on a resurgent drive here, the Englishman. Trying very hard to catch the YTF1 driver and team owner, it should be said, driving for his own team on this one outing. Well, props to Matthew for doing that, you know. Shows he cares about getting the attendance there, you know. Well, any team manager does, of course, but Matthew especially dedicated as a team manager. And a fairly good sim racer while he's at it. Going to give a fairly good go to holding this P13. Points would be lovely for YTF1's first outing. Considering they only have the one car here as well, it would be even better. But Weeks will have something to say about that. You think he looks to want to catch the Englishman by some speed. But De Vos still putting pressure on Oyala and all this. Carantha starting to catch back up to wearing Parker right on the back of Matthew Shergun for P6. This is one we want to watch, I think. Tom Parker here going to be giving serious chase to the TSA racing car ahead of him. And wants to make something happen here. Closes in through the fast right. Keeps the throttle on. Feathers it a bit, but then flat on the throttle before braking again. And you think he wants this, and he does want it, but he doesn't look to be making it happen just yet.
I think it was unlucky with Lichtenstein and Nicolai because I think at the exit, Christoph tried to get the power on, but had a kind of bit of tank slap moment, I think. Then he opened the steering, so he went to the left, tapped Marius, and then he went the other way and spun into the barriers.
Yeah, unfortunately that is the case, and Lichtenstein may be very far back, if not out of the race. He'd probably be retired because he didn't have a front right. But it's not confirmed that he has yet, although...
Yes, he has retired.
He has retired, becomes the second retirement in the Dangerous Christoph Lichtenstein, and that means a retirement in Epic Racing's first race, which is never a good thing, but such is life, it happens sometimes. And speaking of life, Matthew Shergun's life has been made a bit harder by Tom Parker. The Englishman given all sorts of pressure to these fellow compatriots, but it is RTS versus TSA, both Chevrolets, both Corvettes, giving it everything they can to hold on what is lap 12 for these drivers. I think we are probably about 15 minutes into this race now. Can you check that up for us, David?
It currently says 17 minutes here.
Yep, 17 minutes into this race. So, there or thereabouts, a third of the way through already. Thomas Hinds will be pleased about that. He's in P4. He'll want this race to be over as soon as he can because he's in a fantastic position. It must be said though, big shout out to Thomas here. He's done a sterling job in qualifying and he's been so solid in the race here that he's just really shown his stuff. I mean, we saw how good he is in Masters. In R2, he's really found his feet very quickly and he showed it here with a P4.
That's true. I'm really very impressed with Thomas being in P4 right now. I've missed him in World Sports Series the other day, but here he's really shining.
Yeah, he wasn't around for World Sports, but he did get a second place before that at Sochi, so really starting to shine, the Aussie in R2 and showing his stuff. Knows exactly how to make things work and knows exactly what he wants to do here. Boy and Milan currently giving chase to the two Stax cars who are quite far away from each other at the moment, but Oyala DeVos has straightened out a bit. Weeks has got past Matthew Arlington for P13 now. And now Arlington's latest threat will be Marius Nikolai in the Mad Kit when he catches up. So it's going to be Nikolai versus Arlington when that occurs. Van der Sloot just out the points at the moment, but could become in the points if something happens. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. But right now, look at this. Hinds and DeVos still has not... Well, Hinds-Olsen, sorry, is still not really going anywhere. Olsen, that's the thing. He's been making ground on the Aussie, but he hasn't found a chance to overtake. And that is going to get frustrating for the Swede, because we know he's quick, but he can't get past that BMW. He just can't do it at the moment. It's not happening for him. Meanwhile, back at the front, Bristol Capman is really starting to extend the lead from Nico Barkley. All you think he needed was that overtaking move. And it has occurred. Capman has gone through. And Barkley now very much going to have to play catch-up against the Estonian. But Capman will start lap 14.
He's been doing these awesome lap times again. He's lapping 130.6 right now. He's, I think, about the only car that still laps in 130 flat, so 0, yeah. Fastest guy on track easily.
Capman's definitely one of the fastest on track then, doing those 130s like there is no tomorrow. But there probably will be tomorrow for Risto Capman, unless something catastrophic happens. Not like I would wish that upon anyone, of course. Of course, we did lose Ronnie Culbert today, unfortunately, so, you know, that is a very sad thing. It was a very good comedian, and, well, a lot of people liked him. Very famous face, half the two Ronnies, but right now the focus is on this race. And, well, Risto Capman making that...
Milan's now going for an overtake on Waring.
Oh, yeah, let's have a look at that. Waring and Milan goes round. That didn't go well, boy, did it? Let's have a look at what happened there. If we can get a replay, it is bugging out a bit for us, unfortunately. Yes, Milan goes down the inside. And that's how that happened. Misjudged it a bit, you'd think, unfortunately, but such is life. Move happens. Mine is not to undermine. Mine's just to tell you what is going on the track. And indeed, tell you that the likes of Jordan Weeks on P12, who gets a bit of a slide on. Careful, Jordan. Don't want to ruin your tyres. Gets a bit of a slide on. DeVos chasing Oyala even more now. And, well, it seems to be a recurring theme, this. Well, commentator's case, it's nothing uncommon, David. Even you can bring that upon people. But hey, you know, can't be helped. Tommy O, as I said, under threat from Bosch, but it seems to be a recurring theme that people get close to making moves, but don't make them. They're not getting the ground.
Tom Parker has taken P6 from Mashi Turquin, going down the inside turn 1.
Well, that's shut me up then. Well done. Tom makes the move on Cherwin and goes into P7. Goes through then. Extra points for RTS, less points for TSA. And that's not going to be what Cherwin wanted. Meanwhile, well, Parker goes a bit wide. So, Matthew Cherwin going to have to make something work here. I'm going to see if he can make something work. Would be lovely if he can make something work. Lovely for him and for TSA Racing. Again, it's a double Corvette battle, but we are indeed looking forward to seeing it. If it occurs, mind you, Diego Granther and all this will be thinking, go on, you two, have a fight. Because he'll benefit from this and probably get a chance at the position himself.
Borja Milan has already taken back P12.
Well, look at that. Milan on a charge, as you can see, already taken back P12. Milan then will definitely want something to occur. As a result of that, he's got Bart de Vos in front of him now, so the Belgian could be under fire from the Spaniard if he can do that. But de Vos himself this is going to become a bit of a concern now, because the longer he stays behind Bart de Vos, the longer Bart de Vos stays behind Tommy Oyala, the longer Boya Milan has to catch the Belgian up and possibly go for a move.
Oh dear, we just had Dov Murray holding up Thomas Jacobs a bit, and Hintz is looking for an overtake.
Oh yes, he is. Thomas Hintz looking left, right and centre. Not going to happen, unfortunately, as the TTF car there exits the pit lane. One of the few people who have pitted so far, but Hintz will be looking for a move here somewhere if he can make it happen. But Tobias Olsen will want them to fight, because that'll benefit him as he looks down the inside, or tries to. Hintz has a cover though. Nothing going to happen yet, unfortunately, as Olsen keeps chasing the Aussie, but again, nothing's happening, as has been the recurring theme this race, you'd seen. Olsen can't make it happen, Hintz can't make it happen, Jacobs is doing a great race, and Captain is still storming ahead of everyone else, Barkley included. So, David, it has been an interesting race so far. Very interesting. What's your general thoughts on things going forward as Milan tries to go for the Vos? But how good a race has it been so far for you, personally? Because I think this is one of your first times on the commentary with you, GPV. So, how are you liking it?
Well, I've hoped for a bit longer fight at the front, because, well, seeing with more action for the win, so...
Speaking of
currently, it's going a bit going too quick. When Nico lost P1, we saw that Risto went off in the distance, but in the rest of the race I'm seeing quite a lot of action in the midfield.
Speaking of fights, Milan, yeah, boy Milan going through it at turn one, makes a nice clean move on Bart de Vos. De Vos not gone nil, and he gets the cut back perfectly on the Spaniard, but then they're still side by side, but De Vos has the better exit, and well, that was an almost move from Boya Milan. Almost made it work, didn't quite make it work in the end, unfortunately. De Vos is still in front, but Milan's going to have to make sure he doesn't. Decides against it in the end, does not go for the move, and he'll have to make do with what he has, unfortunately, as Bart de Vos has P11, got it on the cutback. Great move from the Belgian to retain that P11, as it's all starting to spread out a bit more, but Olsen is past Hintz. Olsen has got past Thomas Hintz somewhere along the line, and the Aussie now down to P5. That will not be good for him, but he doesn't have many cars behind him, so he can concentrate on keeping up with Olsen.
I just see he got loose on the exit of one turn, and then Olsen overtook him at the same spot as he outbraked Weeks at the start of the race. So yeah, taking P3, P4 there cleanly.
Well, if Hintz can still hold on for this P5, it would be a brilliant result nonetheless. A top 5 is a fantastic result to have, and it would be this is Cosmo's first season in MotoGP, and a top 5 in only the second race would really show that they have it.
Absolutely. I mean, it's already nice to see that the only team that enters a set 4, and it's at least, well, both of them are lying very good, and one of them is even in the top 5, so that's really impressive debut.
Yeah, and what's going to be impressive for RPM Racing is that it's their own, well, one of the two cars, because Rob Mason, I keep thinking Rob Mason isn't racing for some reason, he is. Rob Mason, of course, in all this. Let's go to Rob. He is down in P17 at the moment. As we do see...
This Porta Milan.
As Boya Milan is in the pits, yes, good shout. Why is Boya Milan in the pits? Maybe this is a scheduled stop, this could be that. Let's see if he had any damage. No, I think this is just a scheduled stop.
I'm going for tactics, even though...
And it would make sense...
Before halfway point.
It would make sense because it is lap 18, and 18 times 1.5 is 27. Are we on the 27th minute of this race, David?
Yes, we are.
We are. So that means that we are almost halfway distance. Boy, Milan must be thinking of one stopping. So if we are going to see any pit stoppers, it will be soon.
Yes, I'm expecting people to, well, I think some might try zero stopping, but personally thinking that one stop will probably be safer. You could run into trouble of running out of fuel on like the last 2 laps.
Yep. Barkley here at the moment, P2. And that's good for him, for Basilia, and Jordan Weeks who'll be making progress. And
Battle for P9, warring against DeVos.
wearing DeVos, let's have a look at that. Back down in P9. DeVos has gone up into P9 with all this, and there's a Stacks car in there as well of Andrew Waring. It's a big mishmash here of thingy-majiggies going on, etc, etc. And Waring here having a good go. And he's down into P11 and all this. So Yarla into P10. Weeks P12 and all this. This is a big fight. 3 wide isn't going to work, surely. Or at least 2 wide with 1 in front. This is not going to bode well unless they can make it bode well. Hopefully they make it bode well as Waring down the inside and go. Weeks gets a decent enough recovery there. But he's got to get it going again. He's got to let Matthew Allington through into P12. He's been almost dumped out the points there. Tries to get it going again. Now has to wait for Rob Mason. I think he had enough room to go though. And he does go eventually, but struggles to get it going. And, yep, Mason, now, yep, that's Metcalf through. Weeks is retired. That's probably out of annoyance more than anything. And a shame to see that happen, unfortunately, but some people sometimes make mistakes, and that's the thing. No one can be perfect, and mistakes will happen. That's one for the DC to sort out, unfortunately. But for now, Matthew Ellington's benefited that. He's in P12. This will be a great race for the Englishman if he can get it. It's always good to see him score points. We have a pit, and that's Marius. No, it's not Marius Nicolai. It's not even Sherman Madison. It's not even Rob Mason. It's Andrew Waring. So the Canadian in the pits. And Van der Sloot here. 13th, Nicolai 12th, Allington 11th now. He's almost got a top 10 if he can overtake Tommy Oyala, but he's quite a way up the road. DeVos 9th in all this, and 5th and 9th for the Cosmo team will be fantastic for them, of course. But Olsen in P4 will be even better for RPM as Florian Engel just lets the incoming traffic through. And it has really been a bit of a steady race for this 3rd, 4th and 5th group at the moment. Been a nice steady one. They've all kind of held position mostly. As yep, it's gonna be nice, calm, nice, simple, easy, doable race. The sort of race that races are should be. And I'm just gonna look further down the field because I don't think we really give battles further down the field enough. Well, there's no one. There's none. Forget how I said that. There's no battles further down the field. I think this battle for 9th, no, this battle for 5th at the moment, for 4th and 3rd, is possibly the best thing that we can have to be viewing at the moment. P3 versus P4 versus P5. Not a lot happening, but enough to keep occupied. Olsen then will want to keep a go on things. Just a quick comment in the comments there. Who's winning? It's Risto Captain at the moment for Street Fighter Racing Systems. He is in the lead of this race right now in P1. And Jacobs, though, in P3. Nico Barkley in 2nd. It does seem to be spreading out a bit now, damn it.
Yeah, I think that's a bit spread apart now. I just watched the battle between Rob Mason and Brett Metcalf for P14, who are about, well, the closest I could see so far, but Rob's also starting to get away from him, so not much more to say on that.
Yep, Allington up at the P11 as I said before, and he's been chasing, well, Nicolai has closed the gap on the Englishman now. So let's keep a small eye on this because it could be interesting if we can have a fight to P11. Not the highest points position ever, but a points position nonetheless. Let's just have a listen to this Ferrari actually, just different engines out of the BMW from before. Sounds like he's short-shifting, Nikolai, but he's not short-shifting. That is the actual red line of the Ferrari. Being balanced since the 1.8 version. We are on 1.97, the EGT mod. And if there are updates to it, we will use them. I think that clause has been implemented this year, so we're always running the latest version of the mod to make sure that the cars are as equal as they can be. As Mason Metcalf here could be an interesting points position here. Well, Mason is indeed in the points in all this. Metcalf is going to get TTF some more points.
Oh, we have Ojala and DeVos in close proximity.
We do. Ojala DeVos going for it. Send Ojala through. Well, for now at least, because DeVos might get the cutback going into this inside turn. Is he going to do it? Oh, it's close between the two of them. Possibly. But nothing is happening. Nope. But DeVos P10 remains and Ojala through into P9. DeVos here, not really happy about that, but he's not going to be too disastrously disastered because he knows his teammates up the road in P5, and the 10th and the 5th is still not a bad result. And Matthew Churgren trying to get on the back of Tom Parker for P6 again. Hinds still losing the back of the other two, and Barkley Capit still up there in the front. It is starting to all peter out now, unfortunately, but we'll try and find something that we can commentate on. Nonetheless, as well, DeVos is still. Let's just stick with this DeVos Ojala battle for the moment. It's the closest thing we have to a fight, so worth keeping an eye on. As DeVos tries to get the draft down the back straight, he has a very good toe at the moment. You'd think he's closing in on Ojala, but he can't make this work. No, he can't. He's gonna have to wait. Gonna keep the throttle down, so to speak, and keep trying, but
we have Rob Mason in the pits for
Mason pits for RPM Racing. Might sacrifice that points position now, but does make a pit stop on what I believe to be the roughly the 34th minute of this race. So I'm going off lap count times 1.5 here, so I'm not entirely accurate, but David can keep us informed on times than that, because he has more access than me, because he can actually look around without changing the view of everything.
Yeah, we're currently about 35th minute. I could even say we have ambient temperature 28 Celsius degree and 29 track temperature.
Yep, very useful information to know. It's about 28 degrees there. Enough to get your suntan, sunbeds out and start lying in the sun if you're Fernando Alonso. Well, that was an old meme, wasn't it? Let's not talk about that. That's in fact talk about the fact that Tobias Jacobs and Thomas Olsen, Tobias Olsen and Thomas Jacobs are a bit closer now for P4 and P3. The two of them still duking it out. As Olsen goes a little bit wide and a bit squiggly there, but saves it lovely. And the two of them giving it the good go here.
Lap times are very quite close to each other. I think 131.4s, 131.8s. Looks more like before the calm, before the storm.
Yeah, it could be that we have a fantastic little scrap at the end of this race, but Olsen and Jacobs.
There's a crash. Andrew Waring at the third last turn.
Oh yeah, Andrew Waring and all this has gone off. He's way behind though at the moment. Waring in P20 and he's stopped. Got the clutch in. And that's not promising for the Canadian. Yeah, he's been there for at least 20 seconds now, so it may be that he's had to close something on his screen, may have had a technical problem, but he's losing time and position as he waits here.
His car lagged, and then I'm not sure, there was one of the blue cars, either Senal or Vandersloot, but I'm not sure if they touched him, but he then spurred off to the right into the barriers, but he definitely was like stuck there for like 1-2 seconds, and then came back and went off into the right side barrier, so it looks strange.
Well, people have seen talking to people going off. We've just seen Standard Sonal there go off and P8 go down to P18. Boyer Milan back into the points and all this. P15 going to be chasing down Brett Metcalf, Marius Nicolai chasing down Sherman Van der Sloot, Matthew Allington in P11. These, I think, the people who haven't pitted now will be going for a 0 stop, unless they're doing a very long first stint.
I personally think that if you fill the car up to max, you'll still be passing like the 50-minute barrier, and it could be very tight depending on how much you short shift. And I just see that Senal is missing his hood, so I think he had contact with Waring, but he couldn't do anything about it.
Well, yeah, that might have been the case. We will never know, unfortunately, because we don't have the replays that go back that far, or at least I don't myself, being cameraman. But Thomas Hinds just overtaken Senal, actually, as we speak. The Aussie continuing his charge towards Tobias Olsen, who's now giving Thomas Jacob serious food for thought. Some serious Swedish food for thought as he goes down the outside of turn 1. Very bold manoeuvre from the Swede there. You got to spin an ST, just getting out of the way of things. Very well done, but Olsen is on the charge, on the prowl, and he wants this P3 very badly. On board we go with the Swedes, giving Jacobs something to seriously think about. Jacobs going super defensive, not going to stop Olsen though. Goes down the outside, tries to make this stick. If he can make this stick, it'll be wonderful. In fact, he has made it stick just about. No, he hasn't. Yes, he has. No, he hasn't. We don't know. Olsen still charging, and Thomas Hinds will be rubbing his eyes with glee at the prospect of this, because he's caught right back up. This is fantastic stuff we like to see. This is where it's at right now, as Olsen tries to give another go to Thomas Jacobs. He's right on the back of the Englishman. Again, Hinds just waiting for something to happen there, waiting for something to give, because he must think something's got to give. But is something going to give? We don't know, but it looks like it hasn't. Olsen starting to back off from Jacobs now, but we know the heavy braking zones are where we can make the time up. He's so good at using the braking there to get distance on his opponents. And he's about half a second to Jacobs. This could be enough to get a good draft.
With the retirement of Waring, we had both Waring and Weeks who came together out of the race. Meanwhile, we have two actually three-way battles, the one you just mentioned, and we have a battle for P11 as well between Van der Sloot, Allington and Nicolai, who just were very close together.
Yeah, let's just keep an eye on this P4 battle, the P3, P4, P5 battle at the moment though. Because it is for higher points paying positions, although all points are important, some points are more important than others. Unfortunately, as Olsen here going to be chasing down Jacobs at a range of knots, but he doesn't look to have any time with him at the moment, but he has closed up in the braking zone as he does so well. Let's go back to that P11 battle because it is looking fairly close. Allington down in P12 chasing down Van der Sloot. So it is Aston Martin versus Chevrolet in the horsepower 6. And, well, it looks like Sherwin will retain the position right now. But don't discount Allington. It gets a lovely drift on there, although it's not going to help his speed. It did look nice. Must be said, well held. I think that's the first time I've ever called it a lovely drift. That is going to help Van der Sloot, though, and Nicolai, because Nicolai is going to have a decent chance now, although he's quite far back and short shifts a little bit there. So back up, well, no, not back up. We have a fight for P9. Oyala De Vos is caught right back up again. We've got another fight going on here. Belgium versus Finland once again. Let's have this race going with battles. It's nice to see such things. De Vos going to give chase as he does so well. Former Super Cup champion, showing why he is a former Super Cup champion and showing why he is so talented, why he knows what he's doing. And, well, we know all this stuff. Let's just stop speaking and listen to that BMW. Round the last corner they come then, trying to make something work. Oyala doesn't get a very good exit. This could be De Vos's chance here. Oyala has not got a good exit out of there. He's gained a tenth or two, and he's going to get the toe. If he's going to make it work, it's got to be soon, you think, for the Belgian. Going to go, he's going to keep the toe on here. Where's he going to go? Inside, outside, make a choice. Bart goes down the inside. Oyala can't do anything. Breaks for the turn, and De Vos has the inside line, and through he goes. Bart De Vos, P9. And what a stellar move that was.
Meanwhile, Nicolai has been able to get past Allington into P12.
Yep, Marius Nicolai into P12 now. getting Madcape's race even better onto the better feet, so to speak. Thomas Jacobs has really started to pull away from Tobias Olsen here, and Thomas Hinz still in P5 would still be a fantastic result if he could get it. But Bristol Capit in. This is fairly large. I thought he was going for a 0 stop, but he has pitted. Nico Barkley then looking to inherit the race lead. This could be major news if Barkley overhauls Capit, which he... Well, Barkley... What's going on here? Barkley out!
We have several DNF at the same time.
Yep, several people have disconnected. I can't see who, but Thomas Hinz is one of them. Thomas Hinz is out in all this.
We have Nico Barkley, Diego Carranza, Thomas Hinz, Borja Milan, Brett Metcalf, and I think Rudolf Murray as well. That's like 6 drivers already. That's
6 out of 25. That's pretty much a fifth of the field. That's quite big.
Red flag.
Yep, red flag. Red flag. We have stopped the race here, and it will be presumably Risto Capit who wins this. But we have stopped the race. We have a red flag due to multiple disconnections. Yeah, I can see there at least 5 or 6. Race director Chris Williamson deciding to stop the race there. So Hinz will probably retain that P5. I don't know whether we're going to resume the race though. We are almost 75% of the way through. Just under 43 minutes out of 45. We are almost through.
Oh, this is too bad. It was just getting about interesting, I'd say. Especially with Risto pitting.
Yep, so Risto pit. And that will be a godsend for him because it's come at the perfect time as he just pit and it would have let Barkley through into the lead. So I think he has saved his race win there through that. That is an absolute... I did not expect that. No one could have. Allington out in all this. Yeah, we have many disconnections. Red flag on the race. So, drama.
Everyone returning to
I'm not sure what the procedure is now. I'm not entirely... I've just had Chris Williamson what's going to happen. I'm not sure what happens now, unfortunately. Everyone's going to come into the pits. The race has been stopped. And things are going to continue, hopefully. I don't know whether they're going to restart because we were at the time of the red flag, we were 43 minutes into the race. That's just under 75%. So I think we're within the... I think it's 50% of the race before it can be classified as complete. Or is it 75? Oh, right, it's going to be results. That's it. We are going to call the race at that point. No more racing, unfortunately. We're going to take the results probably from before the disconnection. So, I'm 95% sure it's going to be Risto Capit who wins this race.
I think the result's going to be taken from like the lap before the...
Yeah, either which way, it will be Capit who wins from It will be Capit who wins from Barkley, from I think Jacobs.
Jacobs, yeah.
From
then probably Olsen and Hinz.
From Olsen and Hinz, yes. So a dramatic end to this race, it would be said. Very, very dramatic indeed. That is unfortunately the end of this race, I think. We are taking that as a result and moving on to further proceedings. And speaking of moving on, I think we're going to move on to the interviews now because, well, we're fairly certain this race is over. So we're going to start with our race winner, I believe, Mr. Risto Capit.
Hello.
So, a dramatic end to the race for everyone there, Risto. You do take the race win, but that could not have come at a better time for you because you just come into the pits.
Yes, that was a very interesting moment. I would have loved to see how it worked out. I didn't have too much practice, so from the beginning that was my plan, to pit for fuel so I could push all the way. I pitted. When I exited the pits, I came out just in front of Tom Jacobs, so I figured I would have been in second, just so it would have been a chase to the end to see if Nico would have pitted or if his fuel would have been lasted, because he pushed really hard at the beginning, so it might have been close, so you never know.
Yep, obviously, I'm not entirely sure what's going on because Chris Williamson has now restarted the server. I'm 95% sure we are taking that as the race result and ending things here, but I'm as much in the dark as everyone else here, unfortunately. But we do believe Risto has won, and that makes it 2 wins from 2 races for you. So a very, very dominant drive from you in the end, and this will surely be the sure you'll want to keep this up.
Yes, as planned. I hope to make the whole season the same. It's just too bad that my teammate didn't show up this round. We have a problem with our teammates, but yeah, considering my result, it's good, and I hope to make my best that this winning form continues into the next races. But it was much tougher than I thought in the beginning of the evening. I thought it would be easy, but many people were very fast, and Borja Milan had his penalty, but without it, I'm sure he would have been in the top as well, so it's not easy.
Yeah, well done, Risto, then. Fantastic result for you in all this. You've got brilliant stuff and great results, and, well, we'll be looking forward to seeing you in the next race.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm just seeing if we get anyone else to be interviewed at the moment. Just seeing if I can get anyone else to be interviewed, because we do like people talking to us. Obviously, we've had Risto now, and just I hope that's not it. But it has been a very interesting race, but a dramatic one in the end of it.
Yeah, certainly. Bit disappointed. I was actually looking forward to, seeing if Risto would be having to fight somebody after pitting, or if everyone was basically gonna do one stop too. But this is a bit of an anticlimax.
It is, yeah, unfortunately a bit of an anticlimactic finish to the race. I was hoping for a bit more of a interesting one, but yeah, sometimes things like this happen, unfortunately.
Nico Barclay's just saying hi, he's too shy to come here.
Well, hi to Nico Barkley as well. Well done on second, by the way. It would be nice if we can get him up, but no, I don't think he's going to, unfortunately. But yeah, that rounds that up, unfortunately. Again, apologies for the server problems, apologies for the lack of overlay, apologies for the suddenness and differences in everything, etc., etc. So yeah, that's happened, and it's been a race. So I think Street Fighter Racing Systems will probably retain their lead in the team's championship. The 5th place for Cosmo will obviously help them a lot. It's going to get them 11 points in all this and help move them further up. But it's been a strange one. I don't even know if 4 points are going to be awarded. But
well, if it is, I'm counting that both Street Fighter had won first place, no second car, and that Brasilia had a second place. This basically would mean with full points that they would go from a tied first to the alone first with 7 points difference, I guess, if it's full points.
Yeah, so that's probably going to be the case indeed, and yeah, that's it, unfortunately, for everyone and everything. We are going to call an end to this race now, so thanks very much for watching this, and of course we have more racing action coming up in the upcoming week. We have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have the Career Ladder, Open Series, Formula Challenge, Super Cup and Super League. And then coming up on the Tuesday following, we have the Vintage Series, I believe, as well. From, actually no, have we just had Career Ladder? Or was that the week before? I'm not sure anymore, I don't know, I've made a massive hash of this, sorry. I'm going to consult the calendar because we have a calendar on the GPVWC website. Again, I've only been called the cameras at short notice, so I am slightly flustered. But yeah, we do have yeah, sorry, not my mistake. We do have Career Ladder coming up, then Vintage Series the following Tuesday, and then in 2 weeks' time, a slightly earlier race than usual. Well, because it's usually about once a month, but we have in 2 weeks' time we have the Turkish GT Cup when you come back, and you'll have me for another hour. But until that time, I've been Josh Randerson, and from me, from David, and everyone here at the GPVWC, we wish you a very warm goodbye.